Hello, my name is Riaan Blom with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering team. This video is about deploying Avaya Aura Application Enablement Services 7 in VMware. When you are just looking at deploying Application Enablement Services, or AES, in VMware, I see it as a three-step process. Step 1. Obtain the deploying Avaya Aura Application Enablement Services in a virtualized environment document from the Avaya support site. This document provides additional planning and requirements information, as well as step-by-step instructions of deploying AES in various different virtualized environments. Reviewing this deployment guide is definitely the first step that needs to be done prior to deploying the AES. Step 2 is to obtain the correct software, or OVA, from the Avaya support site and download it to the desktop where the deployment will be performed from. Step 3 is to use the VMware vSphere client to deploy the AES onto your VMware host. For this deployment demonstration, I have already downloaded the AES 7 OVA to this desktop. If you have the VMware vSphere Thick client installed, you should have an icon on the desktop to launch that client. Using valid credentials for your VMware host, log into the vSphere client. From the vSphere client homepage, double-click the inventory icon. This will provide you a tree view of your VMware hosts and any existing virtual machines that may have already been installed on it. With the VMware host selected, click on File and then on Deploy OVF Template. Next, browse to where you saved the AES OVA on your desktop. Click on Open, then click on Next. On the next page, verify the OVF template details. Verify you have selected the correct product and version, then click on Next. On the End User License Agreement page, review the Avaya Software License Agreement and choose to accept, then click Next. On the Name field, you can type a name you want the AES virtual machine to display as in your VMware infrastructure. This is not the AES hostname, so you can use any name of your choice. On the next page, you are asked to choose one of three profiles. Profile 1 configures the AES VM with 1 CPU and 2 GB of memory with a reservation of 2200 MHz. Profile 2 configures the AES VM with 2 CPUs and 2 GB of memory with a reservation of 4400 MHz. And Profile 3 configures the AES VM with 4 CPUs and 4 GB of memory with a reservation of 8800 MHz. Avaya advises to use the thick provision lazy zeroed format for AES deployment. By default, you should not have to make any changes on the network mapping page. Then on the summary page, review all your selections and also choose to power on the AES virtual machine after deployment. Then click on Finish. Deployment time will vary depending on the network connectivity between your desktop and the VMware host. In this example, our deployment took roughly 2 to 3 minutes to complete. You should receive a message advising that the deployment completed successfully. Next, right-click on the virtual machine name in the VMware client and select Open Console. Wait for the virtual machine to boot up. You should receive a prompt asking if you wish to configure the AES VM. Enter Y for yes and press Enter. On the next screen, complete fields for AES hostname, IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. verify the settings, and then enter the letter Y to continue. The server will complete its configuration settings and continue starting the AES application. When you see the login prompt on the console, you can log in with cust and custpw. Then run the SW version command to confirm the AES release that has been installed. Congratulations! Your AES is now installed and ready to be configured. One last item I would like to make you aware of is a change in the AES default certificate. This change is documented in Avaya Product Support Notice 004561U and states that for AES 7, the AES server will discontinue the use of a default server certificate signed by Avaya. Customers are now required to install their own certificates signed by their own private key infrastructure or a third-party PKI vendor. When you log into the AES Management Console, you will notice that AES 7 provides you with a warning advising that it is using a default installed server certificate which should not be used in production environments. When you browse to Security, Certificate Management, CA Trusted Certificates, you will see that there is now a CA and server certificate labeled with Lab Use Only. This is only a temporary certificate, so for production environments you should install a certificate signed by your own private key infrastructure or third-party PKI vendor. That concludes this presentation. Thank you for your time today. We welcome comments, questions and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details or related information, please visit support.avaya.com. Thank you for choosing Avaya.